Hi, I'm Dale Berg with Goodridge USA. I'm here today on behalf of Takaraki to show you how to install Goodridge brake lines on various motorcycles. This particular Goodridge branded kit is called our Shadow Series. Shadow Series is the most cool, innovative product we have ever come out with. It features lacquered, E-coated black stainless steel fittings, which take on a black chrome appearance. It also features black coated stainless steel braided hose. These hoses are made specifically for the top sport bikes in the market, such as the R1 behind me. Now let's go to the install. Okay, Daniel here is holding the two hoses for the kit. This is known as race routing. You see we have two lines with 3 crush gaskets. The reason for that is because we have 2 lines that hook up to the master cylinder that route to each caliper, bypassing the brake tee, simplifying the application. The next step would be for Daniel to hook the actual banjo bolt into the master cylinder, which is going to be a little obscured in his view, but if you look closely, I think you can follow what he's doing. On this bike, as in any other bike, you want to route it to the grommets so you have something to hold the brake lines in place. Most bikes you'll find grommets down on the fork somewhere, and this one is no exception. Daniel is doing the same thing I've done on the other side of the bike. You can see the actual hoses starting to come out on this side, which will hook up to the calipers on each side. Okay, we've got it in place. Daniel is now starting the installation of the double banjo bolt up on the master cylinder. These are stainless steel bolts, so we want to torque these down again from 12 to 24 pounds like we do any kit that has chrome steel or stainless steel bolts. Daniel is now going to be installing the clutch side banjo. He has 2 crush gaskets and a bolt. Now as Daniel's doing this, bear in mind Goodridge makes a lot of different style kits. This is a race routed kit. We also have Superbike Pro routed kits, which are 3-line kits. We have 1-line kits for single caliper kits. And if you're confused about installing them, please contact your local dealer for help, or you can contact Goodridge customer service at 800-662-2466 for help. Daniel has got the actual caliper installed, and now he is reinstalling the grommet to hold the brake line in place. Again, this bike may have a different routing than yours, but at the end of the day, follow the OEM routing as close as possible once you actually leave the master cylinder area. Okay, he's checking the connections right now. Everything's looking pretty good. He's now ready to move on to the throttle side. Okay, moving on to the installation on the throttle side. Daniel is now installing the banjo into the caliper with 2 fresh crush gaskets. Again, always use fresh crush gaskets anytime you drain fluid from your bike or if you install any new kits. Goodridge kit is fitting nicely in that caliper. He's finger tightening it, and now he's going to install the grommet on the throttle side that will make the brake line route more effectively into place and keep it from flopping around during transportation. Okay, we've now got everything in place. The next step in the process will be to review your fitment and the actual routing of the kits, just to make sure they will route better. I like that routing a little bit better because it had a little bit of a kink in the hose there, and in that position it has a natural flow. We are now ready to start the final torquing. Okay, now to start off the torquing process, Daniel's going to torque the master cylinder banjo down. Again, Goodridge recommends 12 to 24 pounds of pressure on a stainless steel bolt. He has a torque wrench so he can get the precise amount. Typically, most people start somewhere in the middle on that, but we do recommend you don't exceed the 24 pounds of pressure. very tight space in there, so it's taking him a little bit longer than it normally would. This is a very precise operation, and it's critical to the success of the brake lines. He's now completed the front, and we'll move on to the next. Goodridge stainless steel braided kits with stainless fittings torque from between 14 to 24 pounds of pressure. We're waiting to hear the torque wrench click. We got the clicks. He is now completed on that side. Okay, the torquing is complete. Now the final process is to actually inspect all of the connections and then move on to the bleeding process. Okay, starting the final process on this is the bleeding process. Daniel is now pouring fresh brake fluid into the reservoir for the master cylinder. Please note this has an external reservoir, which is a little different than motorcycles, but it still works the same way and is just as effective. Okay, topping that off, now we move down to the bleeding process. Okay, the final process in the procedure is to bleed the throttle side caliper. Now remember, with a two-line system, you've got to bleed both sides individually. Daniel is now loosening up the bleeder nipple on there, and using the power bleeder, he is now flushing the throttle side. Please note all the air that's in the actual bottle as the fluid starts to bleed itself with the aid of the power bleeder. It's getting a little bit low on the fluid in the reservoir, so we're going to add a little bit more to make sure that we don't lose the pressure that we've already gained.